Hello, welcome to Startup Tools. So today we are going to talk about another tool to develop your blog, a tool which is much more simple than WordPress, but at the same time very efficient to collaborate with your team, but also to rank your blog with SEO and also to give access to your community to private content. On that channel, we talk about online tools that you can use to make your team more efficient. In this video, we will talk about what is Ghost, why it is better for me to start a blog in 2022 than WordPress. We will then create a new article so you know how to do, and then we will try to improve this article for SEO to add some metadata to it. Finally, we will see how to give access to the team if you are not alone to work on your blog. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about a promising feature of Ghost that allow to host some private content and to give access to it to your community thanks to a subscription or even for free if you like it. Okay, let's see that in the video. I will share my screen. Hello, so now you are on my screen and I'm just visiting the Ghost homepage. So you can have the link in the description. Homepage is quite interesting because they explain a bit what is Ghost. You have the example of sites that use Ghost and they focus on the publishing features that we will talk later. You can give access to your audience to specific content and even charge for a subscription fee. You see the analytics that allow you to see your audience growing and all the integration with all the tools that probably you use. If you want to create a Ghost blog, you have two ways. Either you host it on your own server because it's open source. The command line is quite easy. If you are a developer, it's not that complicated. But if you want to have it managed by the service ghost.org, it's much more easy. In 5 minutes, you have your blog working and it's not that expensive. So here we are on the pricing page and you see that the price is depending on the audience. So at the beginning, you can have 500 members. So member are people that subscribe to your newsletter, subscribe to your articles, and not anonymous people. You can have as many people visiting your blog, but only 500 members at the beginning. And you can really start with the $9 per month plan. The only limitation is that you will not be able to have more than yourself as a staff user, but you can really bypass that if you work with someone you trust in. You can share a common email, for example, and then you could use the same account. You cannot use your own team, but I think it's not really a problem. Why? Because the team by default are very, very nice. And you have a limitation in the file upload size, but I think also this is not quite challenging. If you think it's too limiting, you could pass to this second plan, the creator plan, at $25. But I think it's not that expensive. Why? Because if you host it yourself, it will cost you the server. It will cost you something like $10 or $20 a month. If you host it yourself, you need to upgrade manually, you need to backup manually and so on. And finally, it's an open source community. So the more you use their service, the more Ghost will be better in the future. So here you are in the admin interface of your Ghost blog. So you can replicate this if you create an account. You have 15 days, I think, of trial. So you can create an account without paying at all. And you can see what this looks like. So it's a demo blog. So you have a dashboard page. This is not the more important page. After, you have a section to see your site. It's not really the public page, but you see the left menu is from the admin page and the right panel, it's the public page. Then you have the list of your blog posts. I think it's a more important section and it's the section where you will most likely go when you manage your blog. So it looks like Medium. I don't know if you know medium.com. So it's like a widescreen and you can create a text as you're typing on Google Doc or on a white paper. So here I will make a demo of how you can create your first blog article. So here you write the title and then you are on the content of the blog itself. So here you have different type of block. When you start, you just type your text, okay? I am going to talk about a new subject. This is a normal text. I can edit it. I can put it in bold, in italic, in a bigger size. So What is very nice in Ghost, there is a few options to format the text. So your text will always be consistent. There is only 2 levels of title. So the first title, which is H1 if you know about HTML, which is a title that is used for SEO, and then 2 sub-level of title. So I will not convert this text to a title, but I will demo with another title, title 2, and I will convert it to the biggest style of title. And then you can have subtitles, and I will convert it to the first style of title. And in between, you can have some paragraph or text. It's as easy as that. And you can also use Markdown if you know about Markdown. What I try to type Markdown syntax, you see it converts automatically to the title equivalent to this syntax. So here I typed 3 hash and it converts to h3 title. So it means that you can also import some Markdown text to Ghost and it will understand it. So this is the feature image, and the feature image is quite interesting. You will see that I will publish this article now. So I publish, but I don't want to send it for now to people that subscribe to this blog. So I will just say publish. And then you see that I have a link to the blog post section. So I will click on it and I will see my new article. So this is a very simple article. And I can go in my homepage and I see that my article is now the latest article of the feed. And this are the default articles. So if I click on it, I found it again. This is a public view of this article. There is a very handy shortcut to edit this article is to add edit to the URL. And if I add edit, I go back to the edition interface of the article. So what we can do more, we can explore a bit the blogs that are available here. So here you can add some custom HTML, some Markdown if you use to write your article with Markdown, and Markdown is very popular. You can create a gallery of images, so several images that will show up. You can do a call to action. You can display some content that will be displayed only by email for people that are subscribed to your content. So this is the admin interface. Now we are going to see how we can improve this article to make it rank for Google. So now we will see how we can improve this article by adding some metadata to it. So here you have a button to open the panel. And here you see the URL, the link where your article were published. It's a good practice to customize it so it is short, it contains the tags that you want to target, and it doesn't contain some small word like it or the or something like this. So if you talk about, I don't know, winter games, you can create a custom slug that will exactly match with your target tag. Then you can change the publish date. If you want, you can add some tags. So by default, there are main tag. So let's say that winter game is our main tag, but we can add other tags like mountain. But be careful not to add too many tags. You can also add some private tag. So for example, I use a private tag named IFR for articles that are in French because it's a way to filter article by language. But this is a more advanced setting, so we will not explain this in the video. Then you have the access. So as I told you before, it's a subscription-based system. So you can have a public audience and after you can have some private posts for people that subscribe to your audience. So here you can say it's for members only or even members that paid a subscription. And the good point is that for SEO, you can do what you want. So generally, if you don't do nothing, I go to metadata and I see that it took the first part of my article, but this is not perfect for Google because generally we don't start an article by a Google optimized description. So what I suggest is that we can write a better description here. So this article is about winter game. This is not a perfect description, of course, but at least it summarizes better what this article is about. You have another field which is excerpt that allow to summarize the article in the list page. By default, either you want to customize everything, this, the excerpt, the metadata for Google, the metadata for Twitter, But if you don't customize everything, the excerpt will be used. So basically, this is what you can do for SEO. There are also some technical stuff that I don't talk about. For example, that it is integrated with Google AMP format and so on. So the philosophy of Ghost is to use the best SEO practice, but to leave the user with a very minimal user interface with only what is needed for them to customize. So finally, I will talk you about the lab section. It's a section where the feature is totally finalized, but generally it works perfectly. And it's really an important place to go because often your blog exists in other places on the web, in WordPress and in other systems. Also, you can want to import content from a Ghost site to another Ghost site. If you have Ghost hosted yourself and you want to move it to a managed version of the Ghost, you can just export your content. So it will export a unique file that describes all your blog, all your articles, but also all the settings, and you can re-import it again here. So, as I promised you at the beginning of the video, we are going to talk a bit about the subscription model of Ghost. So apart from being a blog, Ghost proposed to host some content in a private workspace. So you can subscribe to a private section. If your community like really your article, you can even make them pay for them. So basically, when you subscribe to an article, you can have access to the free article. I publish a new article and you subscribe, you get the article by email. So this is really great because it allows people to stay in contact with your blog. When you publish a blog, if they are interested by a specific blog post and then they subscribe, they can really be aware of your new blog content. But you could go a bit further and say that, for example, after a given time that they receive your content, they could be interested to learn more about you and have a private section. So here you can set up the private section. So basically what you can do is you can define who has access to your private section. Does people need to sign up or you need to invite them or nobody can have access? After, you can define the default post settings. So when you publish a new post, you remember there was a little selector to select what was the visibility of the post. So here it's the default value of this selector. And finally, it's going to be free or it's going to be on a payment basis. So here you can define what are the payment. And if you choose finally the payment option, you can connect to Stripe to define the tiers. So it's as simple as this. If I go here, I can see the portal. So when someone wants to connect to the account, I can define what I ask him, if I want to ask him some extra information or to choose a tier. So that was it. I hope you like this introduction to Ghost. Please comment this video. Do you think that really it's better than WordPress? Maybe you are a fan of WordPress. What do you think of Ghost compared to tools like Patreon or Substack? So feel free to engage the discussion and see you next week for a next video. Bye bye.